What's up everyone, Mainly Hockey Cards here, and as we approach the 2021-22 NHL season, I want to give my thoughts on 10 players whose young guns you should be watching for from the next Upper Deck set. I do not know whether these players will be Series 1 or Series 2, as Upper Deck has only released one name so far for the Series 1 set, and that's Cole Caufield. Without further ado, let's get into the list. Starting things off, I have Jamie Drysdale of the Anaheim Ducks. Super talented and described as a dynamic puck-moving defenseman, Drysdale will likely be a full-time NHLer out of the gates this year after putting together 8 points in 24 NHL games this past season. Alex Newhook is next on the list and played at the World Juniors, Boston College, the AHL, and the NHL this past season. He didn't disappoint at any level and looked promising on an Avalanche team that is honestly star-studded from top to bottom. He'll likely start on a lower line, but still get special teams time as well. Next, out of the strugglesome Detroit Red Wings, Lucas Raymond had 18 points in 34 games in the SHL last season. He is dynamic and defensively responsible, which are both desirable qualities for any team, let alone a team trying to make it out of their rebuild. All signs point to him being an early Calder favorite, alongside several other names on the list. German defenseman Moritz Seider is another huge piece of said Red Wings rebuild. The number 6 overall pick from 2019 has really progressed well in development and finished his SHL regular season with 28 points in 41 games and 5 points in 13 games in the playoffs. He's a special player, and at just age 20, very well could be an elite two-way defenseman in the league in a few years' time. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Try saying that 5 times fast. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. It's a mouthful, but 6K impressed the Buffalo faithful in his limited action this past season. He's been a work in progress, but this season could be when we see him play a fair chunk. He may start the year in the AHL, but this could finally be the Sabres' goaltending savior after years of depression. Speaking of goaltenders that may take over the reins of their team, Spencer Knight is a proven winner and outclassed the $10 million man, Sergei Bobrovsky, this past season. While I expect Bobrovsky to have a huge season, I'm sure he has a short leash, and Spencer Knight is in the wings, ready to take the starting role from him at any given point. Next, we have a guy that I am personally super excited for, and that's Vasily Podkolzin. Podkolzin is a talented forward that also has a mean side and grinds out every shift. Likely will start in a third-line role for Vancouver, and he's probably one of the few younger players that could actually thrive in that role and still put up points. These next 3 players are pretty self-explanatory, and it starts off with Trevor Zegras. Dynamic, high-caliber offensive player with silky hands and elite playmaking qualities. You know what you're getting with Zegras, and that's a first-line center who will probably take that role this coming season. Had a strong start to his career with 13 points in 24 games, and it's only going to get better from here. Quinton Byfield is also a center with elite talent. Los Angeles has arguably some of the best future talent down the middle in the entire league. I see Kopitar holding that first center spot for at least a couple more years, but if Byfield transitions into the NHL as well as he did in the A, that might change. I did say in my last video that I have Stutzla and Lafreniere coming out as the best 2 players of the 2020 NHL draft, but it's entirely possible that I'm wrong and Byfield surpasses at least one of them. Last but not least, and probably the name you had hoped to hear the entire video, Cole Caufield. Caufield is a pure scorer, and he was absolutely electrifying for the Canadiens this past year. Being on the Canadiens and headlining the Young Guns crop for 2021-22, I'd be shocked if he wasn't going for over $200 to $300 US upon release of Series 1. The Canadiens will be good again, and with a great crop of youth and a great hockey market, Caufield's Young Guns aren't going to come down too soon, especially if he picks up where he left off. Honorable mentions, I have Marco Rossi and Anton Lundell. I wanted to include these guys, but it's hard to say with certainty if they'll make their NHL debuts in time to be in Series 1 or 2. I'd love to hear who else you're excited for as Upper Deck Young Guns in this coming season. If you liked the video, consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always change your mind later. Enjoy your weekend, everyone.